Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This time we're going to be looking at Newall, which is an area in Otley, which is located in West Yorkshire and lies on the north bank of the River Wharfe, across Otley Bridge from the central area of the town. And the place name, recorded in 1166, is Newall Hall, which for argument's sake means New Hall, so why not just say that. Newall contains Prince Henry's Grammar School, Wharfedale Hospital and adjacent to it Wharfedale Park, also known as Wharf Meadows. A 21st century housing development featuring conversions of many of the listed buildings of the former hospital, including the 1873 workhouse, are also in this area. Newall Hall is the remaining part of the 18th century listed building, now converted into flats just at the top of Bilham's Hill. An older building, Newall Old Hall, was painted by Taylor but has been demolished in 1928 for council housing, which is roughly where the crescent is now, the bottom of the crescent. Newall Grange on Western Road was built in the 1880s. It also contains Wharf Meadows Park with extensive gardens on land beside the River Wharfe, donated to the town in 1924 by the Fawkes family. Newall was historically part of the township of Newall with Clifton in an ancient parish of Otley in the West Riding of Yorkshire. The township became a separate civil parish in 1866. In 1903, Newall was transferred from the civil parish of Newall with Clifton to the civil parish and urban district of Otley. Are you following me so far? In 1974, Newall was transferred with the rest of Otley to the city of Leeds. Yay! Whereas the civil parish of Newall with Clifton, which despite its name no longer included Newhall, was transferred to Harrogate district in North Yorkshire. Newall now falls within the Otley and Yeadon ward of the Leeds Metropolitan District Council. It was in 1920 when Otley Town Council began building housing estates on the north side of the river. Remember them, who used to actually run the town? Making 214 council houses in Newall by the end of 1922. Increased government subsidies from the Housing Financial Provisions Act 1924 led to further houses being constructed on the east side of Newall Carr Road, in the Crescent and the Crossways. In 1947, the council began developing land to the west of Newall Carr Road along Western Lane. These developments were accompanied by the construction of Newall Infant School in 1935, went there, and Western Lane Primary School in 1953, also went there. Private building also commenced in the 1920s and 1930s, but slowed during the war years until the 1960s, and several smaller developments during the 1970s, with additional schools. The 1980s included a private development around Newall Hall. I'll also turn around and say that the person that is doing the research for the material I'm using for this video is very, very naughty, because they fail to mention the fact also that Chippendale Rise, Athelston Lane and Turner Crescent were built with the Crossways and the Crescent. Naughty, naughty, naughty. And of course there's Prince Henry's Road and Haycroft as well. In regards to Newall Old Hall, the much dismembered mansion of the Keighley, Proctor, Wilkinson and Fawkes family were finally dynamited by Major F.H. Fawkes in 1926. The Fawkes certainly loved the dynamite, didn't they? Surprised bystanders dodged shrapnel masonry exploding from the mangled mansion and wondered at the repair bills for the punctured tiles of Croft Avenue. Can't understand what would be so unusual about somebody just blowing their house up when you're walking past it, but hey-ho. When in January 1926 Major F.H. Fawkes of family all decided to blow up this house, what exactly was the noble mansion he reduced to rubble? Well, William Fawkes of Newall may have lived here in the 13th century, but the more certain structural signatures on the hall came from the Keighley family between the 18th and 16th century. The naming of the original New Hall was in relation to the old hall of the Archbishop's Manor House south of the river, which was located, if you walk up Manor Garth, you can see the remains of it as you're going up the hill. If you say where the hell is Manor Garth, then basically opposite where Dunnish used to be, you go through the gates and walk up the side of the river and you will see some ruins there just near where St Joseph's School is. The new hall itself aged into antiquity and was succeeded by yet another 17th century newer hall, so newer hall, of the Barker family lower down the township. Any medieval timber-framed horizontal hall house on the upper side was probably replaced in the 16th century by the vertical 4-storey tower house of contemporary status. The hostilities which demanded the border country fortified Pellew towers now no longer prevailed, but the Newall tenants-in-chief still needed the elevated standing of the Great Hall and chambers overlooking their expanding estate. This was a sub-medieval remnant dynamited by 14 explosive charges just for a little bit of fun and blasted over the rooftops of Carr Green and Croft Avenue, which I'm sure the residents were really happy with that. The demolition dust to dust of the old landlords of Keighley, Proctor, Wilkinson and Fawkes families drifted over the new tenants of the council estate. Welcome to Otley. In 1758, here survived the hall's tapestry room, which, in other houses, decorated the day's end of the Great Hall or adjoining chamber. The man and maid servant rooms were up 2 pairs of stairs. Try and say that one when you're drunk. Kitchen, laundry, brewhouse, servants' hall and dining room were listed along with pantry, pastry and cellar, obviously for the wine. The pastry was a term given to an oven room, separated in later years from the hall house kitchen fireplaces. Of 2 preserved fireplaces unsuccessfully offered to the Victoria and Albert Museum, obviously not that good, the larger moulded example of 7 foot 4 inches span was thought to be of late 15th or early 16th century date. In April 1926, both fireplaces were in pieces in Otley Council Yard, eventually to disappear without a trace. Fantastic. Externally, the hall was variously described as a queer-looking turreted building in Gothic style with gargoyle images which the pagans had put up. Whether the devout Catholic Keighley's had a more sanctified private chapel is yet to be determined. Farms, barns, stables, a garden orchard, terrace, east and west carriage entrances, woodland grove, the rookery of Crow Garth and an ancient oak further framed the house, and a partridge in a pear tree. By the early 19th century and generations of tenants and farming, the hall had ancient splendour removed, decay destroyed plants and gardens. Fawkes' ownership also demanded spoliation of select agricultural features from the hall houses within his dominion. Technical word. J.M.W. Turner's painting at the 1624 decorated doorway in 1814 with its farmyard foreground was followed by its re-erection as a mere fragrant flower garden porch at Farnley. By the 1820s, the old house was scarcely habitable, save for a few rooms used by tenants such as the retired servants from Farnley Hall. Its long east gallery was in bad repair, open to the elements with broken windows. The hall was to be described as just the kind of lonely mansion to cry out as haunted. The dark howling corridors, loose casements and creaking footings have conjured thoughts of things uncanny in the mind of the half-slumbering infants, particularly on stormy nights. Sorry about that. Getting back to sanity, in 1827 the landlord demolished the offending pilot set for the tower element and added modest east and west wings using materials from the old house, better than blowing it up. It was to be the Abel homes and family overlooking the site who fully witnessed the declining years of the old hall. In 1851, Abel, or could be Abel, and his wife Anne, born on the Fawkes estate at Stainburn, farmed 111 acres of hall lands from their homestead and farms, followed by Arthur Holmes at the turn of the century. With the demolition of the hall well underway, F.H. Fawkes would offer land and stone to Otley Parish Church to build a Sunday school on the farm site for the spiritual welfare of the Newall Carr estate. The remnant heap of stones, which was the noble mansion of the Keighley's, was rearranged again as the Anglican Church Hall, with foundation stones laid under the name of Fawkes and Mrs. Wilson, Sunday school teacher. The hall was opened on Saturday the 23rd of June 1928. I've nearly finished this video, I promise you. The last footprint of the ancestral occupants of the old hall, whatever their denomination, was mapped with a symbolic cross site of antiquity in the middle of the children's playground at Newall, which is obviously long gone as well. So vanished the last vestige of 600 years of sub-manorial management of the Archbishop's land north of the River Wharfe. And that's your lot, folks. I do hope you have enjoyed this video. If you do like anything in regards to Otley, then please do visit my YouTube channel, which is Andy to Know on YouTube. Also, the videos are available in non-YouTube format on Otley Our Town and Otley Things You May Have Forgotten. Forgive me if I've forgotten the title of that group, but I think that's what it's called. So until the next time, please do take care of yourselves. If you want me to do a video on anything else within Otley, if you're watching on any of the Otley sites, then please do pop it in the comments and I will do my best to do a video. Coming up next will be Jenny's Cottage, so look out for that one. Until then, take care of yourselves, folks, and goodbye for now.